Hey Mama, welcome to the podcast. This is Jocelyn, and this is my Tuesday episode where I focus more on motherhood-focused things, and Friday we do pregnancy. It is hard to find positivity during pregnancy because there's a lot of negative symptoms. So if you've got a friend who is pregnant, or if you are pregnant, please listen to those episodes. Tell your pregnant friends about those episodes so that we can find more positivity around pregnancy because it's actually helped me to have more kids. We would have only had 2 if I wouldn't have been able to learn how to shift my mindset, and it's helped me to have 5 kids. So the power of our mind is pretty amazing, and I also will talk about that today. The power of our mind is pretty amazing when it comes to weight loss and losing that baby weight. I imagine if you are listening, you are a mother who has probably gained some weight during pregnancy. And right now I am doing a series on losing weight in motherhood and things that I have learned, mindset tips I have shifted in my mind to help me to lose the baby weight so that hopefully I can help you in that endeavor too. Let's jump right into it. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. I can't believe it has taken me this long to talk about this topic because this one is huge, and it's one that I've gotten used to thinking, but then I had to remind myself of it this last little while, and I can't believe I forgot about it. So this one is a huge mindset shift for me. But before I give you the mindset shift, I want to give you a thought. I was actually visiting with a friend at one of our homeschool groups, and we were talking about sometimes it's really hard when you have cravings or things you would just really want to eat. And she was referring more to pregnancy, but this applies to not pregnancy. And anyway, so if you get these cravings and you really want something sweet, but then you eat it, and it just doesn't make you feel good. You maybe feel nauseous after if you're pregnant, or you, sometimes if I eat too many sweet things, I get a headache. And so as we were talking about this, I shared with her that maybe that cookie or those cookies or the donut, it tastes like a headache. And it started as a joke between my husband and I, after a really big Sunday dinner or something where we kind of ate too much and had too much sugar, and you kind of just get that sugar headache. We would joke it tastes like a headache, but it's an actual thought that has been useful for me sometimes when I just think, that tastes like a headache. I don't want to eat that, especially if I get a little too repetitive and craving. So think that thought. Maybe it tastes like a headache or a stomach ache or whatever happens to you after you eat something undesirable and you have an undesirable side effect. Sometimes that can help shift our mind. So there's a thought for you. The real thing I wanted to talk to you today is rules versus guidelines. I want to versus I have to. These are huge. In my mind, I feel like if I have to do something, it can sometimes be harder, especially when it's something that I want to do. And let me tell you what I mean. So when it comes to weight loss, that's something I want to do. But if I feel like I have all these rules, I have to follow these rules, I have to eat this way, I have to not have sugar for this many days in a row, I have to, it gets really heavy and hard. Whereas if I do it because I want to, it feels more relieving, more free, and less heavy. And I want you to try this week. If you struggle with feeling like you do it because you have to, Like, you have to lose the weight. You have to do it because you just have to. Like, you don't want to be fat. But when it feels like you have to, it feels heavy. And that's where I have what I call rule versus guidelines. So you could set a bunch of rules for yourself. Like I mentioned in the first episode I did on this series, is I had a rule that I was only going to eat sugar once a week. And as we went on that first month and a half, I did pretty good. It was okay to only have sugar once a week. And then around Valentine's Day, it got quite a bit harder and I was struggling. I really just wanted some of the baked goods and treats that we had around the house that people had given us, that I had made, and I broke my rules. And then I was feeling all of this shame about breaking my rules. And honestly, it took me way longer to remember this than it should have, but so I was kind of in this funk for a while, like feeling awful because I broke my rules. I wasn't able to stay with my New Year's resolution of only having sugar once a week, and like just feeling bad that I couldn't do it. And it was a little bit of a rough spot. And then I got to thinking and remembering, like, I don't do good when I set rules like that for myself. Like, I don't do good long term. I do better if it's something I want to do. So instead of telling myself I have to only have sugar once a week, I chose to rephrase it in my mind that I want to only have sugar once a week. It's a guideline now instead of a rule. And I find that with guidelines, I do so much better and I feel a lot less shame if I break my guideline versus if I break my rule. And so that's what I've had to shift back to. I have shifted back to guidelines in my eating, in my healthy eating. I have a guideline that I would like to only have sugar once a week, but it is a guideline. And if I end up breaking that guideline on Valentine's or with that chocolate covered pretzel that my daughter offers me, I have a bite of it, that I don't have to feel a ton of shame for breaking a rule. It was a guideline and I'm doing my best to follow my guidelines, but sometimes I slip up. I take a pit stop, as I've talked about before, and it's a guideline. It's okay. I just get back on the highway. But if it feels like a rule and if it feels like I was untrue to myself and I just feel awful for breaking the rules, it doesn't help me to do better. In fact, those days that I was in a funk, I had sugar every single one of those days. It was like 3 or 4, I don't know, I didn't count, but it was multiple days in a row that I kept eating sugar where I wanted to only do it once a week. And it kind of can be a spiral if you get stuck in that, and then the sugar is addictive, so of course you want more. And if you're feeling bad about it on top of that, you're going to want to make yourself feel better, and it's just this negative spiral. So set some guidelines for yourself instead of rules. You want to eat healthy because you feel better. You want to, and it's a guideline instead of you have to eat healthy. It just feels a lot more freeing. It can kind of feel that way when it comes to like paying tithing and donating. You feel a lot better doing it when you want to than when you're forced to. It feels more freeing that it's your choice. And sometimes those rules can feel like they're taking away our choice to do it, because we will feel better. We won't have the headache. We will just have better health, and it will ultimately lead to weight loss if we keep those guidelines. So that is a powerful one for me. If you want to share how you have found success in weight loss, or if any of these tips have helped you, I would love to hear from you. My email is in the show notes, positivityinpregnancy@gmail.com. I also have some Facebook group pages. They are all related to pregnancy, but I'm a mother too, and I have done this too, and I would love to hear from you, or talk to you about some of the feedback that you have from these episodes and in losing weight. You are amazing, Mama. Don't feel shame if you can't keep your rules. I can't keep my own rules, and I've lost the baby weight all the way, like at least 2 times for sure. I think I hit it that 3rd time as well, but it took me a lot longer. But as you implement these mindset tools, you can shift, and you can find the thoughts to think maybe it tastes like a headache, to help you move forward in these endeavors. I am cheering for you. We will chat again next week. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.